But what I really do want to show you is Adobe XD, which, how many of you have seen XD before already? Yeah, so that's pretty good. There's a few of you already. So I'm going to use sort of a pre-baked thing in Blue Peter fashion here just to show you this. So this is meant to be super, super fast. So unlike all of the things I mentioned earlier, which people have adapted to do their UI and UX work in, this was built from the ground up expressly for that purpose. It is meant to be lightweight. It is meant to be ultra fast. That's why I can pinch and zoom like that, and the rendering of that is instantaneous. You'll notice there's no lag. Yeah. In some cases, maybe we've got some rasterized content. It might be a little tiny bit of extra lag, but it is overcome very, very quickly. Yeah. From there, much quicker than Illustrator or Photoshop will render it. And you'll notice there's no block rendering there either. It's the whole screen instantly. So very, very fast to work with, minimal UI. What we don't want to create with this particular product is something where you see a whole load of panels, 90% of which you're not going to be using at any one time, right? Because that's the truth in those things. You're using hardly any of all of that extra stuff. It's all there in case you need it, but what's the point in having it there if you're not using it? If you're not using the color guide, turn it off. If you're not using the swatches panel, turn it off. If you're not using Pathfinder, turn it off. All of those things. No point in having them there at all. So I've just got an extended panel out there. That's symbols. I'll come to that in a moment. And here on the right-hand side, I've got the context-sensitive properties panel, something which is being adapted into other products as well. In fact, Dreamweaver's had it since Macromedia days. So this is a fictitious app. Obviously, I'm not going along with the material guidelines here. I thought I'd make it a bit more colourful. This one with some gradients in it as well, because I'm retro and old school and I like gradients. So it's based on a food app, right, called Eats. When you get into Eats, you can decide one of these different things using these tiles. So I want to eat at a restaurant. I want some fast food. I want one of my favorites, surprise me, show me stuff I've ordered recently, and show me stuff based on my location, and I get a viewer profile at the top. In this section here, we're going to have a little map, and then we're going to have at least something for the fast food and possibly the restaurant food, depending on how we're doing. So I'm going to select this artboard to start off with, and I'm just going to drag a copy of that down here. And the idea I want here is I'm going to simulate in this journey the experience of signing in. So when the user sees the splash screen will then be defocused and a login bubble will appear on top of that. So to do that, I'm going to draw a rectangle. And in here, some of the shortcuts are similar to those in Illustrator. Some of them are different. So rectangle in here, for example, is R. And not M as it is in Illustrator, but it's easy enough for you to decode those things. I'm going to turn on some background blur here, and then I'm just going to dial that up. Actually, I think I'll actually go for background blur itself. Okay, so I'm just going to dial up the blur there, and I can tune the brightness as well, and also the overall opacity of that too. And then I'll bring the bubble in like so. The bubble is actually a group here, so I'll just grab hold of that and bring that in and drop that on top like so. There we go, perfect. That will do just there. So the user gets hold of that, then they log in. I'll just name this screen here, log in, like so. And then they make their way out to this screen. Well, this one's pretty much finished. So what I'm going to do is just grab this stuff from the top here and copy it. So I've got hot dog menu there and title bar. Then I'm going to click on this artboard and paste. And you'll see it keeps the relative coordinates of the artboard as it drops the artwork down. And of course, a more efficient use of this would have been for me to turn it into a symbol, but as I'll do that shortly anyway, I'm not going to worry too much for now. So I could just replicate that across all of my artboards very quickly.